Right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Diesel Arsenal channel. And thanks ever so much for joining me tonight. And as you probably know and aware, that I've decided tonight just to come and do a question and answer session with you all. So, any of you that've got any questions or comments that you want to ask me about conspiracy theories or the paranormal, just throw them into the chat and I'll try and answer them for you. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do with you. We've had a lot of shows on so far on this Diesel Arsenal. I'll just give you a quick recap of all the shows that we've done so far. Hold on just a sec while I get it up. Right, hold on. Right, here we go. So what have we got here? Here we go. I'm just trying to find the... Right, here we go. So we've had one about Jeffrey Epstein. And that was about whether or not he was killed or whether it was suicide. And then there was another one, which the first one I did on Diesel's channel was about asking the question whether there was alien structures under the ice in Antarctica. And because they're one of the foremost people in the field of ufology, a lady by the name of Linda Moulton Howe, had done a documentary about some supposed alien structures beneath the ice in Antarctica. So that was a very interesting one. But anyway, we've got someone in the chat, and it's Early Doors TV, and he says, "Good evening, Warren." Hi, Early Doors. How are you, mate? How's everything? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks very much for popping in. Just wondering if there's anything. You're the first one in, so I'm just wondering if there's anything you'd like particularly to ask or talk about regarding the paranormal and conspiracy theories, and also if you've got any ideas as well about what sort of shows you'd like me to do on this little project that I have on Diesel's channel. Just throw it into the chat, let me know, and I'll make sure that I add them to my list. But yeah, so thanks ever so much for coming in, Early Doors. It's nice to see you. So then we had, I did a show about Area 51 and Bob Lazar. Now, as you know, probably know, Bob Lazar was a guy who claimed that he worked at a secret American base in the area which hosts Area 51. He never claimed that he'd worked on Area 51, but he just said that he'd been working there in another part of the area, and worked on recovered alien spaceships and talked about his experiences. Absolutely fascinating story, by the way. And Early Doors says, is it a conspiracy that Saka signed a £280,000 a week contract? And yeah, that mate, I don't know. Has he actually signed the contract? Because I don't know if he has or he hasn't. But yeah, I'd be interested to find out if he has. And then Early Doors came in with another question saying, do you believe that we landed on the moon? Well, that was another show that I did on this channel about the moon landings and whether or not they were faked. And I have to say, I don't think they were faked. I think we definitely went there. But what I do think is that we found, when we got up there, we found stuff that we were never told about. So, you know, alien structures, because there's loads, apparently it's alleged there's loads of alien structures on the dark side of the moon. Because as you probably know, the dark side of the moon never ever faces towards Earth. So alien beings who wanted to stay out of eye shot, so to speak, could easily do so on the dark side of the moon. And my main reason for thinking that we did go there is because at the time that it happened, there was a major push to get a man on the moon because of the Cold War and the Americans wanting to be the first ones that had done it. So yeah, I do believe that, and also because of the film footage and the way that the guys were talking about their experiences of going to the moon as well. There is a film that you can watch, which is available on YouTube, I believe, called For All Mankind. And that, honestly, that film is absolutely mind-blowing. If you ever get a chance to watch it, like I say, it's on YouTube. So if you ever get a chance to see it, then go. Don't miss the opportunity because it's amazing. And we got Randy Viper has come in. He says, Warren, my brother, my mate, my cousin, my alien master. Thank you very much, Randy. That's really kind of you. That's very kind of you to do that for the Diesel Arsenal channel. I'm sure Diesel will be absolutely delighted with that. Early Doors says, apparently so. Done deal, 4-year contract. Well, I have to say, if I heard that it'd been like rumours that it'd been sorted out months ago, but I'm not surprised that they waited till now to announce it, given that the title has gone. So yeah, I'm not surprised. And Long Haired Yeti's in. Great album by Pink Floyd. He says, yeah, man, Pink Floyd's one of my favourite bands, I have to say. Especially that Dark Side of the Moon album. Absolutely classic stuff. And David Dundas says, morning, Waz. I hope you're well. I hope you're good too. Yes, it's probably morning time at where you are, isn't it? You're in New Zealand. So I hope you're having a good day so far. And I hope the rest of the day goes really well for you. Early Doors says, evening, guys, and morning to David. Yeah, David. I'm sure he's going to have a good day, whatever he gets up to. And I hope that you do too, Early Doors. And so let me just, and we've got Ali D in. While talking to the president on an old phone from the moon, I don't believe any of it, to be honest. Okay, that's fine. If you don't believe it, mate, that's absolutely fine. But have a look at, if you haven't done it already, have a look at the stream that I did about the moon landings on Diesel's channel, because I can understand why you would say that, because there's a very powerful, strong arguments as to why people believe that they didn't go to the moon, and I find them quite convincing. But when you actually really go into it, I'm not convinced that that they hold that as much water as they'd need to. And David Dundas says, thanks, mate. Hello, Early Doors. Yeah. Hi. So look, everyone, thank you so much for coming in. I'm just going to go through quickly the rest of the shows that I put up on here. I've done so far for Diesel, so that you can check them out on Diesel's channel. I did one about ghosts and whether or not they exist and the different types of ghosts that there are. And then I did one about Bigfoot. I did a show about Bigfoot and had a look at that because that's a really weird case. It really is. And then Early Doors says, Warren, do you think that any government would ever release any details on alien sightings, etc.? I don't think they would. I don't think they would. I mean, they've been doing it almost since the end of the Second World War now. And I just think that it's been going on way too long. I think that there's too many people who've been lying and covering up this thing for so long. And one of the reasons that we keep getting told is because the governments are worried that we won't be able to handle it and we'd freak out and things like that. And I just find that a bit patronising, and two, I find it a bit abusive in a certain extent, because we're obviously not being told the truth about a lot of stuff. So I just no, I don't think they would. I just don't think they would, because they've lied to us for so long about these things that I just can't see them ever doing it. I think they've got too much to lose, would damage all the pillars of our civilization, like the way we run our countries, the religions, and everything like that. And they would end up just causing absolute chaos and carnage. And no, I just don't think they would. Honestly don't. David Dundustin says Mythbusters tested all the myths about the moon landing. Really? That was interesting. I've not seen that. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, thanks for letting us know about that, David. That's really interesting. Narendra Modi says, hi, Warren. Hi, Narendra. How are you? And I hope you're well and having a great day, whatever you're up to. Ali D says, what's your take on the flat earth conspiracy, Warren? Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I find that difficult to believe, given that all the imagery that we've got of the earth from space. I find it a bit odd. You know, I don't know, unless all of those images have been faked and everything else. But then also, when you go up on the plane, if you go up high enough, you can actually see the curvature of the earth. So I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not. I really don't know. David Dundas says early doors, the US military from time to time release footage about sightings. See, this is it. This is it. I think as well that these governments are using the UFO phenomena to cover up something far more sinister. I do believe that. And I do believe that we have been visited by other intelligences across the universe. But whether it's as prevalent as what it would seem, I'm not convinced. And I think the American government aren't, and all the governments aren't telling us the full facts about what's going on. And I think it's quite convenient for them, because they would like to keep it. How do I say? They'd like to keep this idea of the UFO phenomenon going, because it was helping them to cover up something far more sinister. That's what I believe. Pepsi Pack's in the chat, and he says, evening, what about large black cat sightings, real or bullshit? No, I think they're real. I do think they're real. There's been reports of like large cats running about the place all over the world, and I've got no doubt in my mind that that's probably true. Especially like in countries where there's huge areas of like remote lands, and why wouldn't there be packs of large cats running around? Do you know what I mean? I think that's definitely a true one. Early Doors says, I've seen that, David. Think if they showed too much, people would panic. See, this is the government's line as well, that they can't tell us stuff because people would panic. Now, there is obviously something going on because the American government they instigated an investigation into it and drew up these papers about helping people to come and speak out and so on and so forth. So if it was all a load of nonsense, I just don't believe that they would do that. But there again, it might be another way to keep this this conspiracy going, this conspiracy of lies and deception. So who knows? Early Doors says, apparently there are reflective discs on the moon that can be spotted by a telescope. I haven't heard that, but I have heard about people seeing lights on the moon from time to time. And I know that some astronauts have reported seeing lights coming off the moon and things. So it's all very strange about why, if it's a dead planet and there's nothing there, why would people be able to see lights there? It's just very, very odd. And left behind from the Apollo landings. Well, maybe that's what it is. But I don't know, why would they do that? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, not to me. I'm not a scientist. I've got very little knowledge about science at all. But I just don't understand why they would put mirrors on the moon. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just seems a bit odd, really. Naranda says government will never share the knowledge of aliens. They would be more concerned about sharing the tech. Yeah, this is another issue as well. That governments, if they had evidence of alien civilizations and recovered craft, they're not going to want to make that information public because of the issue about the public panic, but also because the recovered craft that they had would have to be extremely highly technologically advanced nature, because in order for them to be able to travel here, they would have to have tech of a really high technical level, right? So that being said, I think that the world governments would want to keep that to themselves, because otherwise they'd be in a position either where they'd have to share it, or that they would, they would be sort of coerced into sharing it and not keeping it for themselves. Because the thing is, if this alien technology was of a very high level, which it obviously must be, then if one government in the world was to get able to get its hands on it, then they more or less they would be able to do almost anything they wanted and be able to force their will on any country in the world, be able to dominate the whole planet. Because it'd be that advanced. And it's been widely rumored that the stealth fighter is based on recovered alien technology. So yeah, whether that's true or not, I don't know. The Flat Earth Society had a conference in Auckland. They flew in from all around the globe. Laugh out loud. Well, there you go. There you go. Early Doors TV says Pepsi think possibly in some remote locations, but I think it's more photoshopped. What did Pepsi say? Oh, black. Yeah, some of them probably are, but I do think it's I do think that there are like large beasts running about the place that like cats and what have you. I mean, lots of people have seen them, so they say, but then again there's lots of people who will try and Photoshop these things because they like to get the have all the attention and the drama associated with it, and to be, oh, this person's proved that this big cat phenomenon is real, or the Loch Ness monster's real, and so on and so forth. And Early Doors has put a laughing emoji in for David. Yeah, that comment was funny. Jordan, what about the Freemasons? Yeah, Freemasonry, mate. Well, we had recently, I don't know where you're from, but we recently had the coronation in here in the UK of the new king, and there was all these sort of, I don't know how you'd explain it. These boards went up, and he had to go behind these boards, and they had to do some ceremony with him and what have you. And apparently, that was an old spiritual thing going back to the New Testament, and a lot of the stuff about the Freemasons goes back to that time. So maybe it was a Freemasonry ritual that they were doing. I really don't know, but yeah, I'm not a great fan of the Masons, I have to say. I just find that this whole thing about them sort of promoting privilege and looking after each other, I find that a bit off-putting, to be honest. I think everyone should be able to have enjoy those privileges, not just a select few who belong to a sort of an elite closed shop club. No, that's not for me. Ali D says, let's be honest, the deep state hide most things from us, the minions. They do. And, they're faceless people in real high positions of power. I mean, even the president of the United States doesn't know everything about what's going on. There's stuff that they have to keep from him. So, yeah, I find that really bizarre, really. It makes me wonder how free these countries are. And Jordan says, also, the Titanic wasn't the actual ship that got sent out. It was switched with a sister ship. Now, I didn't know that. That's an interesting one. I've not heard that before. Yeah, because they showed pictures recently of the Titanic on the seabed, didn't they? So yeah, that is an interesting one. Excuse me, sorry. Early Doors TV says, Jordan, what ship do you think it was switched with? It was like, well, from looking at what he was saying, it's probably a duplicate one, but I just don't understand why they would do that. Why would you do it? I don't know what the benefit would be for them to have a sister ship and moving all the people over from one ship to another, and I just don't get it. Pepsi Pack, anything looks large from a distance. Yeah, always had bad camera footage too. See, this is the thing with these things, that is the argument against them. That the image is always blurry and out of focus, and then it's never real sort of top quality footage. But the problem is as well that a lot of the footage was taken back in the day when there wasn't HD cameras and all this carry on. And Jordan says, Early Doors TV, the Olympic. Okie doke. Was that they knew that it was going to sink, so they got the people off and put them. I just don't know, mate. I never knew that this idea before, so I don't know. I really don't. Joanne Smith in the chat says, hi, Warren. Hi, Joanne. How are you? I hope you're good. Nice to see you, Joanne. Early Doors TV says, all a myth, Jordan. Olympic was different in design. A deck, promenade deck was exposed, where on the Titanic it was closed. due to first-class passengers getting sprayed with water. Yeah, well, there you go. So it probably wasn't then, but like I say, I've never heard about this one before, so I'd have to have a look into that. Joanne says, "Do you think aliens are on Earth already living here?" Yeah, I think they are. I think they're living here amongst us. I've got no doubt about that. I think that they've been working here with us as well, in secret government bases, sorry. And Joanne says that's an interesting one about the Titanic. Yeah, it is. And this, going back to this business about the aliens living here amongst us. There's lots of talk about them being in secret government bases where they help the governments back engineer alien technology. And there was a story about that there was one who worked in Area 51 on some of the recovered UFOs that had crashed and so on and so forth. David Dunder says, "Did you do a stream on flight MH370? No, not yet, mate. I will do it. I will do it, definitely, because that's people said, I think it might be you that said about it before, but yeah, I will do that. And I've got some, in a little while, I'm going to tell you about some of the ones that we got coming up soon, that I'm going to be doing. And Ali D says the president of the USA doesn't know what day it is, let alone running the country. Yeah, well, it's like a lot of world leaders on that score, so he's not alone there. And Joanne Smith says, did they build the replica of the Titanic? I don't know, Joanne, because I really don't know anything about that story. A billionaire was building a replica of the Titanic, says Joanne. I don't know. I really don't know about this story about the Titanic. So I wouldn't really be able to comment on that. Early Doors TV said there were 3 ships: Olympic, Titanic, and Gigantic. But when Titanic sank, Joanne, they renamed it Britannic. See, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So, David Dunder says, yes, Trump is a lizard person. Smiling face. Yeah, David Icke has spoken about lizards as well. He's famously gone on record as saying that he felt that the royal family were lizards, and stuff. So if he thinks that's the case, then I've got no reason to disbelieve it. And there is theories about people being shapeshifters as well. I don't know if you've heard about that. Friend of mine and reckons that they saw one once on a bus in London. So they told me that the person's face just completely changed right in front of them. And this person doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't take drugs. So I've got no reason to disbelieve what they're telling me. Early Doors says that billionaire was going to build a replica, but it was all a propaganda scheme, Joanne. Right. Okay, so I'm learning stuff about this Titanic story, so that's good. And Early Doors says in China they were building a full-size replica, which would be a hotel, but so far they've only built the hull and they ran out of money, so it's sitting there rusting away until someone gets the funds. But that's quite sad, isn't it? That would be nice to have a replica of it. I'm not sure that I'd want to travel on it though. Just in case the same thing happened again. Do you know what I mean? Naranda says we got a lot of aliens in the UK. They all come from across the channel in dinghies. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, Naranda. Yeah. Just leave that there, I think. Pepsi Pack says thoughts on the Bermuda Triangle. That's an interesting one, Pepsi, because I did a show about that on this channel about the Bermuda Triangle, and it is a very, very weird thing. And there's lots of different theories about what it could be. And it's not the only place in the world where that sort of thing happens. So it's difficult to know really what it is, because it could be a place where like a portal to other dimensions, or where people can move backwards and forwards in time. There's also a very rational explanation which says it's because of gases that come out up of the ocean floor and cause these ships and what have you to sink. But I don't know. I mean, but that wouldn't necessarily explain about all the problems that aircraft have when they're passing over the area. So, I mean, I have to say that whenever I'm traveling by plane and likely to go over that area, I get very, very nervous about it. And Ali D says most of the aliens are residing on AFTV. No, well, you're not wrong there, mate. There's something definitely wrong with those people, that's for sure. Yeah, no. There's something not right in there, I'm telling you. So they're not the same as most of us, so it might well be. Early Doors says those shapeshifters warrant are pickpockets that have disguises and different clothing so they don't get recognised. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. That could explain it, I guess. Long-haired Yeti says Titanic, a bit like the rest of Arsenal's season. Laugh out loud. Yes, you could say that. Yeah, the last 10 games were a bit of a disaster, to be quite frank. But there you are. And Early Doors says the Mary Celeste one. What do you think happened there? That Mary Celeste, that was another one I did a show about. That Mary Celeste, that was absolutely crazy. And I was confused at the start of it when I first started doing it, and doing the thing never became any clearer in my head as to what had happened. It's something obviously had happened, something else weird had gone on, because it just doesn't make any sense why the whole crew would just disappear like that. Because they did. The whole crew just vanished. It was as though they never existed. It was just bizarre. I've spoken to people who think it was a pirate attack, which possibly could have been. It could have been lots of different things, like alien abduction or, But the problem with the pirate attack is that you would expect to see more damage to the ship, from the pirates, like sort of grabbing hold of the ship with ropes and the things on the end of the rope that allow them to pull the ship toward them and whatnot, big metal things, hooks and whatnot. But there was no evidence of that, and there was no evidence of a large sea beast attacking the ship either, because there's no damage to the ship allegedly. But who knows? They might have covered all that up. It was really weird one. But I did do a stream on it on Diesel's channel, so make sure you go and check that out. 11 likes so far. Hit them up. Yeah, please, everyone, make sure you hit that like button on the video for us. It'd be very much appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to Diesel's channel already, please make sure you do that. He's a great guy. He does brilliant content, and it's not just about Arsenal. He talks about life, films, all sorts of different things. He has me come on as well, which leads me also to me. So please make sure you go and subscribe to my channel, Warren's Team Talk. I talk about football stuff on there, and I've been following football for over 50 odd years now. So come and check me out. I do some history videos about that, of my time watching football. So yeah, come and check that out. Come and find me. On a Saturday, I always do a show about all the 3 p.m. kickoffs in up and down the UK. And this Sunday, I'm doing a special last day of the season show for the Premier League. So yeah, make sure you come and check that out, because it's going to be good fun. Be a good lot of banter, and yeah, it's always good fun and very enjoyable. Pepsi Pack says the headphones guy on AFTV is definitely an alien. Mate, I don't watch that channel. I don't. I have to be honest. I don't watch it. I've got no interest in watching it. I think they've sold out. I used to watch it all the time back in the day, but not now. I just can't bear it. I just find it really a fake. And no, I just think the best thing we can do to stop this poison seeping through the club any further than what it already has is to stop giving them like the credence of getting their views up and stuff. So I just don't bother watching it, because I think it's nonsense and it's fake as well. And I can't stand fake people, and they're definitely fake. Naranda Maddie says alien Ty. Well, yeah, probably. Early Doors TV. What about the conspiracy of the Hindenburg? Was there a bomb on board or natural disaster? Are you talking about the big airship? Because if that's the airship, I think it was. I don't think it was a bomb. I just think it was. From what I remember about it, I think it was probably just a part of the engine caught fire and whatnot. But yeah, it could have been. No, who knows? It's an interesting one to look into. That's for sure. Pepsi Pack says Terry has vanished recently. Yeah, he has. And my guess is he's been abducted by aliens, or either that, or he's gone. He's run off with Mikhail. So Pepsi Pack says liked, and this is fun. Thank you, Pepsi. That's very kind of you, my man or woman, whoever you are. I don't know. But yeah, thanks ever so much. That's really kind. Long-haired Yeti says, Top Dude Diesel was on Jessie's channel with him the other day. Yeah, I know. I saw you both. And both of you were talking sense. And yeah, it's good to see you on there, because I've seen you a few times putting in chats in other people's channels and whatnot. So it was good to see. And Steve RC says, I prefer watching Lee Gunner, and when he brings in Jez Collins and Kenny Ken, then AFTV, they good interviews on it. AFTV getting boring. Well, it's that, but the reason I don't watch it is because I just think it's all fake, and they're just doing it to push the club's PR, and I just can't be having that. I can't. If you can't be real, then what is the point? Honestly, what is the point? David Dundas, I haven't actually watched AFTV since they threw Claude under the bus. Me too, mate. That's why I came and found Claude on when he went and teamed up with Diesel and Terry. That was the reason, because I wanted to support Claude. So I came over to their channel, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The constant tear-ups and everything else. It was just absolutely hilarious. And you had one guy talking apps, two guys talking sense, and the other one who seemed a bit of a madman. So it was brilliant. Early Doors TV says, "What do you think about people and premonition? I can share something about the Titanic with you. Please do, man." And premonitions, I think it's. And look, I believe that in this universe there are alien civilizations which are our friends. We got ones that are neutral, and there are ones who wish us harm. I think premonitions are probably coming things that are put into our heads by the civilizations that are friendly towards us because they're trying to warn us of things. That's what I think it is. I might be completely wrong and mad to say that, but that's what I think. Long-haired Yeti says, "Real Arsenal fans chase glory and fake ones chase the pound." 100%, mate. 100%. That's what I think, and that's why I don't watch it, because I think it's all fake. They haven't got a clue. Honestly, I think half of them haven't got a clue what they're talking about, and they're just pushing the club's marketing narrative, like trying to brainwash fans into believing the nonsense that the club puts out. And I find that really disturbing. Long-haired Yeti says yes. Well, we've had that. Early Doors says yes, the airship. Yep. Pepsi Pack says man, laughing emoji. David Dundas says long-haired Yeti, you and Diesel were great on the string. Yeah, they were. They were absolutely superb. And long-haired Yeti says at David Dundas, thanks, dude, it was fun. Yeah, it was interesting, that's for sure. Ali D says AFTV full of actors, money before the club for those CNTSs. Yes, 100%, mate. 100%. That for me, it sums it up in a nutshell. For them, it is all about the money. And and even so before the club, which I just think is wrong, and I find it disturbing. Joanne Smith says Terence is walking the dog. Yeah, probably. And I did wonder when the story first broke about the dog was one of the dogs was one of Terry's dogs. But there you go. David Dundas says, "Do you believe in ghosts, Warren? I saw my granddad who died before I was born." I do believe in ghosts, and I mean, like I said when I was telling you about the stream that I did about it, there's lots of different types, and it's a very complex subject. And yeah, I do believe in them, and I think it's a way that people are able to come back and reassure people who are upset because of a passing of a loved one or whatnot. But I think there are also times when there's time slips as well, like where there's a bit of a lap over between different time periods, and that people are able to see things as a consequence. So yeah, I do believe it. Early Doors TV says, yeah, years before the Titanic was sort of a writer named Morgan Robertson who wrote a book called Futility. It was a book about a liner on its maiden voyage with rich people, hits an iceberg and sinks. Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. He named the ship Titan, and the White Star Line named their ship Titanic. That's very interesting, isn't it? That makes you think. It really does. Joanne Smith says, I laid in bed last year and heard someone getting beat up by a gang. It was right next to me. Was it a premonition of something, or was I hearing what was happening in my room, but it was somewhere else? Hold on. I laid in bed last year and heard someone getting beat up by a gang. It was right next to me. Was it a premonition or of something, or was I hearing what was happening in my room, but it was somewhere else? That's interesting, Joanne. I don't know is the answer to that. I honestly don't know. It could have been. Hopefully, it wasn't you being beaten up. That's all I can say. But listen, I don't know. I mean, did you see the people that were involved and what was going on, why it was happening? Did you get any feeling about that? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Steve RFC says Arsenal should get pot two for UCL. I would prefer Thursday night than no European because your code points could go down then in the UCL, so you get a harder draw. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're in pot three, mate, to be honest. So we're going to get a really tough group. You know, I wouldn't surprise me to see Arsenal get put in a group with Roma, Real Madrid, and another, and that would be an absolute nightmare. Long-haired Yeti said, I saw my next-door neighbour and was told by my mother he hung himself 2 weeks earlier. I was only young. Yeah, that's really freaky, isn't it, when things like that happen? Jeez, that must have freaked you out, mate. Really. So Early Doors TV says, wow, long-haired Yeti, when you hear those things, it does make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It does. That would really have freaked me out, that's for sure. When I realised, yeah, it did. I bet it did, mate. Steve RFC says, because Juventus got 10 points took off them, the way things stands, they could be in Conference League. Oh, my God, can you imagine? That would just be insane. It would be insane. Yeah, it really would. I mean, I wouldn't like to play Juventus, that's for sure. But there you go. Anyway, so back. I'm gonna tell you about some other streams I've done. I did one about the Loch Ness monster, whether it was fake or whether it's real. And then we did, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, the Bermuda Triangle. We also did one about the Roswell incident, which was an interesting story. Really, and I think that there was definitely an alien ship crashed in the desert there. I do, and you know, it's just too much cover up and stories changing all the time, and them keep coming out with different explanations about what happened, and yeah, it was a bit crazy. Then we had one about the moon landings as well, like we already mentioned. Then I did a really interesting one. I did a show about Halloween and where it comes from and what the stories had, where it started and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was an interesting one because it originates from Scotland and Ireland. And then we did one about the Mary Celeste, and a really, really popular one was the one I did about Princess Diana. Was it a horrific accident or was she murdered? So yeah, go and check all these videos out if you're into this sort of thing because they were really good. I then did one about what caused the death of Mars because there's lots of theories saying that hundreds of millions of years ago that Mars had a civilization on it. and that it was attacked by a extraterrestrial civilization and destroyed. So yeah, there's plenty there, interesting ones there. So go and check them out. That's all I can say. Um, Jordan says, if you meet a woman, start talking about global warming. It's a real icebreaker. Exactly. Fantastic. That's a brilliant comment, Jordan. Doors TV. Warren, there's a guy that went to Loch Ness and he stayed there for years. Basically, lives in there and sells ornaments of Nessie to pay for his way. Fair play, but never said he'd seen anything. Yeah, I've seen that. I remember him when he set up shop up there as well. He had a caravan that he lives out of, and he makes like little ornaments, like you say, of Nessie, and he sells them to tourists. So fair play to him. If he's getting a living out of it, why not? Fair play to the fella. But he's also said he's never actually seen anything, which is a bit disappointing. But still, there you go. Steve RFC says, "Been good live stream." No, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, mate. Long haired Yeti says, "Yeah, agree. Some major cover-ups. Why cover something up if it's not real? If it's not major, why not cover something up if it's not real? Cover-ups cost cover-ups cost money, and we all know how much they like to save that." Yeah, they do, but I don't know. I just think there's lots going on that we really don't know about, which I find a bit disturbing, really. Just come and tell us the truth, for God's sake. Early Doors TV says, "Does anyone wonder if the Egyptians and Mayans have any connection with aliens, considering how advanced they were supposed to be?" It's possible, mate. It's definitely possible. I mean, but you look at those pyramids and whatnot, and they reckon they built them with blocks and tackle, and like thousands of people and whatnot. And I just find that very difficult to believe. And the blocks are sort of precisely cut. They're very, they're not. You would expect them to have a lot more error in them. The layout of the things are very precise. It's just not. It just doesn't seem feasible to me that was done by a very primitive civilization. So, yeah, and because we even now we would struggle to be able to pull off an engineering feat like that. So yeah, I've got no doubt that they got help from somewhere, whether it was an alien civilization or an advanced lost civilization, the survivors of a ancient cataclysm that brought their knowledge to Egypt and what have you, like Graham Hancock suggests. And yeah, go and check out his work as well, Graham Hancock, absolute legend of a man. Where are we? Yep, okay. Early Doors says, "Agree, Steve RFC. Good interaction from everyone in the chat. Well done, Warren, for these types of shows." Thank you very much, Early Doors. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And it has been good interaction. And I'm going to be finishing in a little while. So, because we've been going for nearly an hour now. Long-haired Yeti, I would agree. Early Doors TV, mate. And I think that's a thumbs up. I can't really see that, but yeah. David Dundas, did you do a stream on crop circles? Some of these are amazing. I haven't, but thanks for reminding me, because I do want to do one about crop circles, because I've got some really interesting theories about that and what that is. Yeah, it's really interesting phenomena. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do one about that. Long-haired Yeti, do you think being a believer gives more chance of seeing things? I'm a believer. I've seen loads of things, UFOs and ghosts. To be honest, mate, I don't think it does, because I've heard people say that before, but I'm a big believer in all these things. I never actually. I've seen when I was a kid. I used to see lots of stuff, like not UFOs, like ghosts and things, right? But I've never ever seen a UFO. I saw a meteor once come into the Earth's atmosphere, and although it could have been an alien spaceship, I guess, but it looked more like a meteor to me. So, no, I'm not convinced. I think, they appear to whoever they want to appear to. I think that's how it works. David says there's no way the crop circle's made with two guys on the board. No, it's 100%, mate. They may have done at the beginning, but look at how precise and the mathematical equations they've got built into them and stuff like that. No, I don't believe that at all. Right, okay, guys. Just got one more chat here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Early Doors says, long-haired Yeti, there were a load of American fan believers. They saw the title, but turned out that was a conspiracy. Long-haired Yeti, there was a load of Arsenal fan believers. They saw the title, but turned out it was a conspiracy. Mate, I don't think you're far from the truth. I mean, I think that Arsenal at the last season, as soon as they secured Europa League qualification, they stopped really trying because they would explain why their form collapsed. And I think they did it this year as well. If you look, after the game at Anfield, we had effectively secured Europa League qualification. And then that's when all of this madness in the last 8 games changed or started rather, because we went for a position where we were winning sort of maybe for the games we played up until the Liverpool game, we had a really high win percentage, and it went down to something like 20% after. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just absolute madness. And yeah, there are a lot of our players that are absolute bottle jobs. I'm 100% convinced about that. And as soon as the pressure is applied, that they can't handle it. And the same with the manager. I don't think he can handle it either. Longhead, yet he said 2 men and a mower, laugh out loud. Exactly, mate. And Longhead, yet he says Early Doors TV, laugh out loud. Thanks for the show today, Warren, says Early Doors, and people in the chat's been a pleasure chatting with you all. Yeah, it has. And please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Diesel's channel. Please make sure you put a like on the video, and please come over and subscribe to my channel and put likes on my videos as well. I did do a video for those of you talking a lot about Arsenal in the chat. I did do a video the other day there about this theory I've got about why Arsenal collapsed at the end of this season. So if you're interested in that, go and check it out. I think it's about 20 minutes or something. And Longhead Yeti says, feel for you real Arsenal fans, to be honest, it's Longhead Yeti. Pepsi Pack says Saliba loss was the turning point. I don't think it helped. But I think there's a bigger thing at play here. It's too much coincidence between this season and last season for my liking. David Dunder says, good stream, Warren, thanks. You're very welcome. It's an absolute pleasure. Arsenal forever. Before Sleeper got injured, Arsenal conceded 24 league goals. Look how many we have conceded since he's been out. It's doubled. Yeah, exactly. And I pointed that out on the show that I did. And David Dundas, off to work. Guys, have a nice evening. And you, buddy, I hope you have a good day at work and you enjoy yourself. Make sure you don't get abducted by aliens on the way to work, though. Long-haired Yeti need to strengthen, to be honest. Exactly, we did need to strengthen, but we didn't do it. Early Doors TV, enjoy your evening, and David, enjoy your day, sir. And Longhaired Yeti says, laters at David Dundas, have a good one. And we got Felipe, he's amazing. Arsenal could have got him. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it now. Thanks ever so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will do more of these in the future if you enjoy it. And yeah, thanks very much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to take care of all your friends, your families, your loved ones. And remember, stay curious and keep your eyes on the skies. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Cheers, everyone. Bye.